So, it's that time of year again. January, the month where every studio puts out their worst movie of the year, so everyone has forgotten it ever released at the end of the year. But this January, I was kinda excited about one movie, and that being the new Mean Girls movie, based on the Broadway production written by Tina Fey, which was based on a 2004 film also written by Tina Fey. Now, I am a big fan of the original 2004 film, but I'm not gonna go into that film as much as possible because we all know it's great. The Broadway version, however, is something I have never seen, but I've always heard it was great, and I am finally going to see it this summer when it comes to the West End. So yeah, I was pretty excited to watch the movie adaptation of this musical based on a movie which I really liked. Whoa, that was a mouthful. So this weekend I sat down and I watched it, and it was pretty fun. Okay, let's talk about Mean Girls 2024, The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. The Good. Okay, let's start right off the bat with Renee Rapp as Regina George. I adored her in this role, and you can really tell that Renee has played Regina for a long time when she played the part on Broadway, and she really owns the role. And I will even go as far as to say, and oh boy, I'm gonna get some hate on this, but I think Renee Rapp is a more convincing, popular, mean high school girl than Rachel McAdams was. But I said I wasn't gonna bring up the original movie as much as possible, so I'll move on. B.B. Wood was great as Gretchen Wieners, Avantika was a silly and funny Karen, Ollie Cravalho and Jaquel Spivey were really great as Janice and Damien, and they had much more time to shine than the characters did in the original, which I really liked, and I thought they were hands down the best actors and singers in this movie. Christopher Briney was fine as Aaron Samuels, but we have to talk a minute about Augury Rice as Katie Heron. I liked her. She was awkward enough to be Katie, but you can feel this is one of her first times being the lead of a film, and she kinda gets overshadowed by the rest of the cast. And her singing, we will get back to that in a minute. Let's talk about the music first, and this is a perfect moment to continue with The Bad. This film is a musical, and a lot of people going into this film didn't know it was, because the marketing campaign really did its best to avoid anything musical related. And I knew it was a musical, and I really liked musicals, so this was no problem for me. What was the problem for me was the music. While I was watching the film, I was thinking to myself, whoa, these songs are actually pretty nice and really catchy. And when I got home, I thought to myself, I should really check out the original Broadway cast recording. And to my surprise, there were way more songs and everything sounded 10 times better. In the movie, the songs are mixed pretty bad, and it feels flat, shallow, and just completely empty, and it does nothing in favor for the actors who aren't the strongest singers, especially Augury Rice, and I really get why they cut so many of Katie's songs from the musical. What also didn't help these empty musical numbers was the bad choreography. It was just dull and uninteresting. It was almost like it was just a bunch of TikTok dances, and I wouldn't be surprised if this movie was sponsored by TikTok because there are so many product placements in this. And that brings us to the last topic of this video, The Ugly. This movie looks really bad. It looks as bland and dull as a commercial. And it made a lot of sense when I found out this movie was originally planned to go straight to streaming, and that clearly shows production-wise. I do have to say that I have massive respect for the camera operators. This film has some insane one-takes, where we follow the characters through the entire school during songs, which were really impressive. Overall, I don't have a lot more to say. The movie still plays out as the original, and that is what makes this film so much fun. Mean Girls is a very likable and good story, and this iteration was over before I knew it, so I'm glad this film came out. I had a pretty good time, and it introduced me to the musical version, and I can't wait to see it on stage this summer. So yeah, go see it. It's in theaters right now, and I'm very curious to know what you guys think about the film, especially the people who have seen the Broadway production. So this was Mean Girls 2024, The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a year since I last uploaded, but I really want to make more content for you guys. So if you like what you've seen here, please feel free to subscribe and leave a like. And if you don't, that's also totally fine. But I hope to see you guys later. Bye.